Hi, on today's episode, we host a beauty mogul, a force to reckon with in the beauty industry. Ladies and gents, Maureen Bandari.
My dad was extremely reassuring. Whatever it is that you are doing, you better stop. Please don't look at this beauty. Hey, let me tell you. Hey. Hi, Bessie. In high school, you are in a girls' school. Now here I am in uni. I'm having classmates who are boys. I can just tell you for free. Wow.
Hi, Morin.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Finally, nice to have you on the seat.
I know, finally. Like, the calendar's finally
One not
aligned.
aligning. How have you been?
I've been well. Sorry, I know, it's been a minute with the organizing and whatnot, but finally I'm seated here.
Yes, karibu. So, how have you been? How was your day?
I was actually dozing on the makeup chair. My day has been hectic. When is it not hectic, really? But
Okay.
at least now I'm finally relaxed.
Thank you for making time.
You look so nice.
Thank you.
I was
This is
telling
the
your
first.
makeup artist how we share like foundation, almost the same shade.
Shades, yeah.
When I used to be in Mombasa and you used to be in Nairobi.
I'd actually get my foundations from you.
Yes, or if you like something and you know the shade, you just tell me that I buy
Yes.
exactly the same.
Yeah. So, Maureen, what is your ideal wig? Like that wig that speaks to Maureen.
Uh, do I also specify it with color? Color, I feel like in as much as I experiment, black is still my
Top
go-to.
tier.
Yeah, and especially not just normal black, like almost like jet black. And then I love it when it's like almost like a bob, but
Bouncy.
yeah, bouncy. And then if it's not that size, still black, but longer with waves, not the tiny little cars.
I'm going to do something a little bit different, something we've never seen you in.
Feel?
And I'm really hoping you like it.
I trust you.
Hapo ndo umekosea.
Guy, trust. Actually, I've never tried that color before.
Let me just put it on you and then tell me what is
Okay.
the first thing that comes to your mind, hopefully.
Maybe before it comes like a movie star.
Fully.
Ooh.
What do you think? I know it's not the complete look.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's going to fall off?
No, I just feel like it's a little bit tight.
Oh, it's a bit tight.
Yeah.
Let me just pull. Just because you have a full head of hair.
Yeah.
But I'll just adjust that.
Okay.
Just release.
Okay. Yeah, I've never really tried this color.
What's
But the what is it called?
the lace?
The lace seems to be like my skin tone. It's giving I can be in a movie with Iniedo.
So what do you feel about the color?
I've never tried it, so I'll just trust you and see the last.
Trust the process.
Yeah, I'll trust the process.
Okay.
But
I feel like it's
never-
different, but it's going to
different.
look really good.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Like this color and like pure blonde, I have never done.
Because I feel like you're also not seeing it complete, but once it's...
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I can see a movie star in the horizon. But
Do you have good acting skills?
oh my God, you should ask my team. As long as it doesn't have any lines, I don't have to memorize any lines, but just doing like expressions and just literally acting without memorizing lines. If there's an Oscar for that, please nominate me. Quick, fast. I'm able to do that. But the moment you tell me, oh, now say,
No,
I
you
don't know
have...
what and what,
Is it a thing in the content world that everyone now has to like act?
I don't think so. It's, those unsaid rules of some sort, whereby initially, okay, it's a bit tricky sometimes because when a brand identifies you as a creator, they identify you because they genuinely like how you present yourself or you present your content. But now, in comes a campaign where maybe you're even in a WhatsApp group with like 20 other creators doing the same thing for the month or for 3 months. To some extent, and I think we had this conversation with Unilever at a time where we are like, so what happens between you picking me in a way that I was doing my content a certain way, and now we are on this campaign and where everyone is trying to pull their socks and doing crazy Hollywood stints. And sometimes that might not be your kind of content to create. Maybe you just love shooting even with your phone, just relax with your family. And you're on a campaign with other people who are like literally movie stars falling from on the highway. Hey, my God. But I think it's just trying to find like a nice sweet spot where you are comfortable also. And sometimes it could even come from a point of you want to challenge yourself. But for me, honestly, I could care less nowadays. If I feel like acting and genuinely like having like this whole, thing that I want to execute, then well and good. But if I feel like I just want to look cute and just talk to people and tell them about the brand, that's what I'm going to do. I have nobody to please. I think with time, you don't want to please anybody. You just want to do what you feel like is so true to you as
Yeah, and
well.
what
Yeah.
defines you as a person.
Yeah, because otherwise you can do the content and then even everyone is like, where? We have never seen this before. Or you struggle to shoot it, whereby a simple concept that could easily take like an hour to shoot, now you're there for 5 hours trying to execute it because, it's not in your natural environment to do so.
Interesting.
Yeah, so.
We've said a lot, but you've not introduced yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Who is Maureen? Or how would you introduce yourself or describe yourself?
There's a day my team and I went to like this yoga um, mini event or get together. I would call it a get together for friends. And we worked out and, all of that. And immediately after, now we had to introduce ourselves because some of them were friends, some of them were coming into the group, to work. So during the introduction, literally nobody introduced themselves with their title. And we had like some group of powerful women doing amazing things. And we genuinely focused on, my name is Morin, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I love to travel, I love to dance. I love to have like really deep conversations with people. I value connections and loyalty and things of that nature. And by the time we were done, well, actually, that is me. But by the time we were done, we realized we genuinely didn't put value of who we are to either the kind of work that we were doing or our title. Like I can easily say I'm CEO, founder, Bandari Beauty and Luna Medispa, but beyond the work, then who am I? So I found that to be like a really nice and different way of introducing yourself. So basically, in a nutshell, that is me.
How was your childhood? I like to talk about childhood because
Yeah.
I feel like when you're young, you dream, you have a lot on your mind, and
Yeah.
seeing yourself now,
Yeah.
you get to live the life maybe you dreamed of, or maybe not. How was
Yeah.
it?
Basically, in a nutshell, this babe over here wanted to be a doctor.
Uh huh.
Like, I think from a very young age, I just even used to introduce myself as Dr. So and so. Like, it was so embedded in my mind. Well, partly because of Ben Carson. Hello, everybody.
Ah,
We all remember that
we
book,
read
Gifted
that last.
Hands. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody read that book. But then, beyond that, I think I was watching a lot of movies and videos and series where it was like doctors were predominantly there. And then my dad, being an academician, literally, I would say if you were to talk about things to do with the lawyer, engineer, doctor, he really loved he
It's
really
big.
loved that. So by the time I was going to high school, and you remember that time when we needed to like fill in what kind of university you want to go to and to do what course, and I just filled in medicine. Then the second one was pharmacy. And then the third one was engineering and whatnot. So by the time my results came out, they just told me, do sales, pick something else. So I was told, here are your papers. You need to go do engineering. I just told my dad, there is no way. There is no way. I need to go and do something that I'm more passionate about. So it was more around the sciences, the biology, chemistry, physics. So then I ended up switching. But even before switching, I tried actually to get like a scholarship to go to the US to do medicine still. But later I was just like, my God, you just better do whatever it is that you feel, first of all, you can afford. Dreams can be expensive. And then also,
It's okay.
what is also available to you as a person. And at that point, I just felt like I really love biology, I love chemistry, I love physics. So there's so many things that you can do outside of medicine. But growing up, I can just tell you for free, wow, hey, we were reading. Hey, let me tell you, living in a house of an academician, it's books. You finish your term, you already have a tutor.
At home?
Yes. Or, okay, most times you'd find like there are some tutors who used to have like a place where students now can come. So basically that was it. You finish your term, you go for tuition for 2 weeks, and then you can go home and chill a little bit, back to school. And my dad used to wake me up at 5:30.
To study?
Can you imagine? But he was really a nice dad, because when I think about it, he had, so we were a family of 6. And he kind of knew what everybody loved or was very strong in. So if you're strong in games, like one of my sisters really was so good and so strong in badminton. Is it badminton?
Yeah, badminton.
Yeah, so literally any tournaments, she's there. Any trainings, she's there. And then if you're now like book smart, my friend, my sister Getty and I, what? 5:30, wake up, start studying. And you can't even ask why are the others
Not-
sleeping. No, them they have
Oh, then
that.
they'll sleep?
Yeah, can you imagine that? So them they will sleep. You guys who are book smart, please wake up, read, and then those are the ones who will go for trainings for the games. Another one who, I don't know, loves doing whatever it is that he could identify that she's so good at. That is the one
Should
that
foster that.
yeah, which I find it to be really good than trying to make everybody,
Fit
book
in.
smart for no reason. I mean, now we are out here, we know very well. That's not the only thing that matters to be successful.
Do you think having a father who was intentional and, like you said, fosters what your strengths are,
Yeah.
has helped you now as a person?
Of course, because one of the biggest thing for me is I'm very comfortable with who I am as a person. And for the longest time, I never really understood what it was like to have like daddy issues or, like there's some things I feel like I never, like I struggle to understand sometimes when people go through some of these things, because I never went through stuff like that. My dad was extremely reassuring. Like he's one of those people who will tell you like, you are the best. You're the best in whatever it is that you're doing. So there is no way I can even come on the internet now in my 30s and then someone tells me I'm not the best. Like, what do you mean?
'Cause
Like
my daddy said
I
so.
have known I'm the best from kindergarten. Now in my 30s, are you being serious? No. So I think it depends also, because you can have a dad who's also not present or who's not intentional. So being able to be in a situation where you have the dad, yes, but he's actually extremely intentional about your growth and your success and, giving you a good education. I think that really, added a lot of value, yeah, to me as a person generally. Yeah.
So after you said you studied biomed.
No, biotech
Oh,
now.
biotech.
Yeah. Oh,
How was it? Is it a course that you loved throughout school?
I would say half my time in uni, we were just discovering ourselves as people and as young adults, because I came from a homestead that, in as much as we were liberal, we were like my parents, especially my mom, was also very, very strict. So growing up in her house, like you have to be straight, you have to be in the house. What are you doing in your neighbor's house? Why are you walking with Johnny outside aimlessly? You should be having a book or something. Why are you like it was slightly very strict and cultured, but liberal in thoughts. So by the time you're coming to high school, especially for me, it was more cosmopolitan. Now I went to Moi Girls Eldoret, so there you find, there are people from Nairobi, some from Mombasa, some from all over the place. So you start now understanding different cultures. Now by the time I was going to university and now literally creating friends, even of the opposite sex. In high school you're in a girls' school. So all my life, it's like all my friends are women or girls. Now here I am in uni. I'm having classmates who are boys. They are becoming my friends. I'm having girls who are my friends. You just start discovering things and exploring and wondering, okay, this clubbing they talk about,
What is it?
what is it? So you start going out for clubs and you start discovering you have hobbies and talents. So I would say my first year or up to second year, I generally spend that time discovering things and even questioning. I'm brought up SDA. Do I really like to be an SDA or this is
It's
something that I can change? So I started going to different churches. I was in Deliverance. I even went to Catholic. Okay, with Catholic, it was just confusing because there's standing up, sitting, kneeling, back to reciting. I was just like, hey, this one I don't know. And I went to Baptist, I went to Deliverance. Then I was experimenting between going to church on Saturday, Sunday. It was a lot. So I feel in my first 2 years in university, I was genuinely such a free spirit, just experimenting to a point where my grades actually dropped at some point. So the time when they dropped, that's when my dad called me and he was like, yo,
what's
listen,
happening.
whatever it is that you are doing, you better stop, because I did not raise anybody to come and give me like some grades. So you better know what took you to university and do it. So I think I started being extremely focused from third year all the way to the end. Yeah. But campus was fun. Like, what didn't we do? One of my friends even tried to run for like these elected seats. Hey, we were in the campaign team. And in KU, it has many campuses. So we were going to Ruiru. There's a time we were even planning like a trip to Tsavo because
Oh,
there's a campus over there.
also all the campuses vote?
Yeah, they vote for the same person. Like there are those people you can vote for in your campus. But now if you're talking about the VP or the president, now you have to vote for one person in the whole university. Yo, that's when I knew politics and me can never work. Like you wake up in the morning, you put up your posters. The next day you find someone else has come, removed them,
Vandalized.
and they have put theirs. And then you don't have money, you have to improvise because you don't have glue and whatnot. You were buying like the unga ya chapo and put with water, it gets sticky. You plaster it on the walls. And then you are putting the post. Oh my God, that was ghetto. And then if you hear like, oh, there is like another group meeting, now you have to send someone to go and eavesdrop. So you know what they're
We're
talking
taking
about.
this campaign seriously.
Yeah, and what they're planning. I'm a very serious friend, by the way. When we decide, hey, I was chief of what? Hey. Hi, Bessie.
So did you start like blogging? It was blogging at that time, yeah?
Yeah.
In uni or was it after uni?
Yes. it was in uni in my second year. Actually, it started in a very funny way because I used to just take pictures and post on Facebook, just pictures of my outfit and post on Facebook. Then my sister had this boyfriend who had gone to the UK to study biochemistry. And he sent me a Facebook message saying, "Oh, I normally see you, posting photos of yourself here on Facebook. But here in the UK, there are some people who take the same pictures you're taking, but they post on something called a blog post." So me, I'm just like, wow, what is this? And then, now at that time, they are cosigning. So I'm like, hey, do you want to drown all of us? Because
Hold
your
on.
relationship is over. So he introduced me to people like Patricia Bright. He was sending me links. So I went and checked out the links, and I realized, okay, I can do this because I'm actually doing it. It's just that I'm posting it on the wrong platform. So I started Googling in Kenya who is doing content and things of that nature. That's when I actually found my friend Nancy. Was like the only person who
I was
was
doing it at that
blogging like
time.
from a fashion angle. The other people I think were doing like gossip or news. Yeah, there was a notorious blog at that time. My
Really?
friend Frankie now, Media MK. Yeah, Media Madness. Like, if you needed to know anything that's happening in this country, that's the blog to check out. But they never used to mention names. So also it used to be very intriguing because now you have to start
So,
guessing who could this popular city lawyer, flamboyant city lawyer, who could this be? So there was that. I think there were a few people distributed all around. There was someone else who was doing tech, and then Nancy was doing fashion. Yeah, so I emailed her. I'm like, hey, I want to start doing blogging. What tips could you give me? And she was pleasant enough to respond to my email and guided me through it. So I ended up opening a blog post. It was like a blog post, something. It was free, at least. So I used to take pictures with my phone, then go to the cyber and upload. Can you imagine? That was that's over a decade ago because that's around 2010 there. Yeah. It's been a while. It's
so
been
you
a
take
while.
your pictures?
I take my pictures with my crooked phone, my Nokia phone. And then I go to the cyber and just talk to the cyber guy. I actually used to send the photos to the cyber guy, whatever you are, please delete my photos. I used to send him the photos and then he'll upload them on my blog post. And then now for me, I'll just arrange them and now write. Because you used to write. It's not like Instagram now where you
You
just
just post
post
and
and
put a
maybe with a
caption.
small caption. Now that one used to be like a whole article. And then there never used to be something like bulk shooting. If I didn't leave the house that day, you guys are not getting a post. So you had to literally put effort to leave the house every day. Otherwise, you have nothing to tell your people. So I did that, and my classmates now, who are my like close friends to date, were the ones who used to help me like figure out places, take pictures, or sometimes take photos of me. Until one of my friend, the one who was vying now, Bessie, bought a Samsung phone. Oh my God, we could not rest. Take me for. We would rather Skype a class.
To take
Yeah,
photos.
because KU was long, like it was very big. So sometimes the location that you want is like,
On the other side.
yeah. So if the class is taking long, I'm sorry. We have better things to do. But anyway, it was such a good time, man. And then your friends just support you, but they don't really understand
The
what you are
vision.
doing because it's not giving you money, it's not giving you popularity or fame or anything at that time. So it's like feeding a hobby, and sometimes you just get lucky that people just support without even
No, it's
understanding.
because we just love you.
Yeah,
Nothing else. I
because
get it, Basti.
right now you can ask someone, does it bring money? If it's no, I'm sorry.
So after how long did you do the blogging?
Yo, when did I become serious with Instagram? I think Instagram, by the time I took Instagram seriously to a point of not blogging anymore, was 2018, I think. So that's 2020, like 2010 thereabouts to 2018, almost 8 years.
You blogged for 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. But then towards the end, we kind of got so tired. So it's moved from being a daily thing to like, blogging like twice in a week or something. It wasn't hectic as of that time now. And then at that time, towards the end, I think from 2016 to 2018, Snapchat was a thing, Instagram was a thing. So trying to, create content all across board was so difficult. And then slowly you realize Instagram is slightly easier because now by then we have full-time jobs, we are starting families. Honestly, I can't sit down and write compositions anymore. So yeah, it kind of like just died a natural death, I would say.
And then now you shift focus to Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, and that shifting was not even on a serious note. Actually, for me, the moment I graduated, I just knew this was a hobby. It's been nice knowing you. It's time to be the corporate buddy and grow in my career. I had envisioned, studying up to PhD. Like I was going to be a doctor in one way or another.
What daktari?
Daktari was supposed to be like a thing. So immediately after graduating, I just knew now I'm working and then maybe somewhere in there I go back to school. So, along the way you just realize, hey, dreams change.
So what changed the dream? Because now you started a family at that time.
By 2017, 2016, yeah. And then by 2017, my daughter was here. So immediately after that, I think just dreams just change. You really have a lot on your hands. I remember just talking to a life coach at that time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm juggling a lot. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And from that point, I think that's when I decided, okay, let me figure out what is easier, because you want to also do things that are easier but also enjoyable. Like in as much as I might want to write blogs for 7 years, honestly, I've given you guys all the English I know. Like there is nothing left for me to tell you anymore. So yeah, that transition to just purely on Instagram. And also there was that shift to move to Instagram as well. And Snapchat was really nice at that time, and especially for some of us who needed like inspiration, because during the blogging days, most of the inspiration used to come from Pinterest. So now you're moving to Instagram, so you need like another avenue where you can draw inspiration and create content for people. But we never really used to look at it as content. You look at it like just post. Just wake up and post.
Was it from a point that I love this thing, so I'm just gonna post it? Just
Yeah, yeah, it was because it was predominantly fashion still up to that point. And then now you start getting nominated for things. You're like, Allah, but the people know what I am doing. Because initially you don't think about it that way. You imagine that you're doing something for you and your 7 friends. And then before you know it now, you're getting like nomination at that time I was in Mombasa. Now you're getting like nominations from Suji Pwani Awards. So it kind of like makes you realize, yeah, this thing is not just for me. Other people are actually noticing what you're doing as well.
So at that point, you're still doing fashion content.
Purely fashion. It was the color blocking days, you remember?
Oh, we used to wear very bright colors.
Yo. And then now the bloggers of that time, we came together. We didn't create a group per se, but Kai, anyway, wow, those were, it's kitambo. Because we used to communicate via email, can you believe it? And CC each other and create challenges. So for example, we will go around, I think we were like 10 or 15 people, 10 to 15, I can't remember the exact number. So we'd go like a merry-go-round. So if it's my turn, I decide what kind of fashion challenge we're having. So it could easily be like all of us are going to wear white. So how can everybody style their white outfit, all white outfit? And then we give a timeline. Maybe we give each other like within a week, you need to have shot the content. And then imagine you come and share on email.
The content.
the photos. So we all now compile and now post on the blog. So all our blogs used to look the same once in a month. So if someone says, I want us to challenge ourselves and do color blocking, everyone submits a photo of them color blocking, and then we all post different ways of. It was actually a cute little thing. And that's the time now we also now started discovering that you can actually earn from this. So we started having those conversations of how much do you charge and stuff like that. But we used to work a lot with fashion, like fashion brand. Actually, you have just reminded me. There is a website that came. Yo, they sent me clothes. They were like, oh, send me your rate card. I sent. They're like, oh, we even agreed. Yo, I've never received even a coin.
You did the whole
Of
campaign?
course.
Wow.
Because you know how much I was charging? I don't know, 8,000. 8,000 for a whole blog post, including Instagram stories and and
And
imagine they didn't pay me. Some things can happen, but you don't want to speak up because you don't want to be seen as, oh, that problematic creator that so you just keep quiet. But now no. The moment you actually realize that you have something you're bringing to the table, they need you as much as you need them, then it becomes easier to speak up, especially when you have agreed and then the other person is not, holding their end of the game. So at that time, I didn't speak up, to be honest. You just complain amongst yourselves and try and ask the other person, hey, did they pay you? And then you just move on and learn from that and know, okay, next time I must sign a contract before I start posting for anybody.
so do you think, especially now for the upcoming content creators, there's that blacklisting that if you come and speak about your experience, you're likely to not get contracts in the future?
To be honest, in this Nairobi, I've realized I just know my house and my workplace. I don't know a lot that goes on behind the scenes, but I have been in rooms where someone needed to be paid and she demanded her money in a manner that even me, I was just like, okay, you don't demand it like that, but I understand you're just starting out. And for sure, even the brand was like, I don't think I can ever work with this person again. But I wouldn't be shocked if that actually happens. But it's more, for me, I would say it's more about educating the other people, or even having like more accomplished creators who are able to educate the upcoming ones on what you can do and what you cannot do. And even for the agencies to just, like, if you promise someone their money, just pay
Just
them.
pay.
There are people who now do content creation as like this is their profession. So that's what pays rent, that's what pays electricity and all the bills, food. So you can't play with people's money when they have actually done the work.
So from being a blogger to Bandari Beauty, how did that happen?
Hey, first of all, do you know I had considered calling my business Bandari Cosmetics? Ah, I had a list of names. I was going back and forth between having my surname as my business name. But at that time, I was working in corporate. So, in corporate, the way you want your things chini ya maji, and like I don't want people in my business like that. So I had explored not having my own name as a business name. Because the moment you do that, obviously, I mean, you cannot be called by HR, like, what is this? Tell us what time you are using. And then you're there, oh, it's not even mine. And, it's your name pretty much. But at the same time, I had created like a following online, which I felt like I can leverage so I don't necessarily, struggle to be believable. Because also remember, I started my business at a time where online businesses were not the most trusted. So I felt like since I have a personal brand online, then it's easier to put a face to the
To the
brand,
brand, yeah.
and make it more, trustworthy. So I just figured, okay, let me do that. So I had to go through names. Bandari Cosmetics was one of them. I even tried to play with the name, and I even had one on the list at Bandab Cosmetics.
Bandab is a mixture of...
No, nothing. I was just playing with just playing with my name and see which one cannot give me away. Like, this is my business. But eventually I was just like, you know what? Like, if it's meant to be like this, it's just meant to be like that. So I just registered it, and I
You
just started.
registered it from inception?
Yeah. Me, but my work experience, I feel working in corporate sometimes, even before starting a business, has its own advantages. And one of the advantages that I can proudly say is it gives you structure. Because when you work in corporate, especially these multinationals or really big brands, they already have structure and processes in how things needs to be done. So even when you come out, you already know, oh, I need to register this, I need to get a license for this, I need to either go back to school and be qualified for this. So there is, like, shortcuts is not something that lingers around in your mind, if I can say so. You just start a business already thinking about how can I structure it to, be successful. So straight away, registering.
So even when you're registering, did you know that Bandari Beauty was going to grow, or...
Of course, no. I actually was doing the business as a side hustle. I just needed extra pocket money because I had already started having a lifestyle. Like, you want to travel, you want to, ship in some clothes from Pretty Little Thing and Boohoo, and Shein. So I need some extra coins to do that. So for me, it was just more of, can I get a pocket money somewhere? And I feel like in Kenya, we have this side hustle culture in a way that you can sometimes have a very nice, well-paying job, but something is just telling you or pushing you towards
So
side
then the
hustle.
society is like, you cannot survive on
Yeah, you
one
cannot
thing.
survive. Now, especially in this economy, I feel like it's almost impossible to do. But during those days, the economy was not so bad. But at the same time, the culture for side hustle was there. So for me, it was just like, another side hustle as I do my main job, which was not so bad. And, along the way, you just realize, yeah, why is the income matching?
Matching
Yeah,
my
why is my
side
side
hustle.
hustle bringing me the same as what this brand is paying me? So it makes you pause, actually, and start paying attention. Okay, let me figure this out, because I can't do my side hustle in the morning up to, let's say, 8 p.m., 8 a.m., and then in the evening from 5, and then it's matching in income. That's crazy. So now you start asking yourself, okay, what if I was to give it a whole day? Now, when you start asking yourself those questions, you already know what you might want to do. Yeah.
So how long did it take Bandari Beauty to break even with your first investment?
I think almost immediately, like 3 months. Because at that time, remember also, I was not putting in a lot of money. It was more around, like, I would buy goods worth like 300K and make almost double or, slightly more
I
than
like how you
that.
say 300K is not a lot of money for a starting business.
It's because I was using my salary. If I did have the salary, probably I wouldn't even raise 300K. But yeah, my first investment was 300,000, and I remember it took me a while, but I ended up making like 6 something, and then I was just like, okay, this is not so bad. Let me add more. But then I was also supplementing it with pre-orders. So you pay like half the amount, I buy the goods, and then you clear before I ship it to you. But that going to my pocket and getting money to just buy product, that was around 300,000.
Also, how long did you work? Did you work with Bandari Beauty at the same time working in your corporate job, uh, to the point you stopped?
I worked for almost 7 years. So I only introduced Bandari Beauty towards the tail end of that work experience. I would say I worked for 7 years, but around 5.5 into working, that's when I introduced Bandari Beauty. So by the time I was quitting, I had run the business for a year and a half. Yeah, so pretty much I actually gave corporate my time, and then by the time I was leaving, now I gave my job my time as well. But sometimes, especially if, let's say, you're working, it's important to start the business while working. I'm sorry, employers, including me, because sometimes you kind of have to prove the concept. You can't quit, and especially if you're a family person and you're earning pretty decently, you can't just quit randomly to try out a business. Because if it doesn't work out, the kind of stress levels that come, including depression, actually, because now you can't sustain the lifestyle, can be quite something. So you have to prove the concept first before you can even think about quitting.
Okay. So, Bandari Beauty,
Yeah.
how was the journey? Because I remember back then we used to send my foundation to Nairobi.
Do you remember I was the first business to have Fenty Beauty? And then
Yes.
I had bought these two small tiny containers because now I didn't have a
You even
physical
had
store.
samples.
Yeah, like I didn't have a physical store where people can sample. So I bought these two tiny containers, and then I used to send guys to that website. Remember the foundation.com?
Foundation.
So
Yeah.
you go and then it can tell you like a rough idea what your color could be. And then now you buy the sample. If let's say it sells you Fenty for 50, you buy Fenty for 50, Fenty for 49, and for 51. So you come and try all the foundation
The three
shades.
shades.
Yeah, and then you figure out which one is yours. And then I buy you a full. That was, and that's the first time I actually realized Kenyans. Kenyans no wakora. Because there are some shades that used to just end. So I used to wonder, hey, kwani everyone is this shade? And then I realized there's, a customer can buy from you so many times to a point where you just know their name or their M-Pesa name now. So one time I'm like, hey, this customer of mine, customer of mine is like a real VIP client at this point. Now, when I went back to my book, because I didn't have an ERP system, I was just writing on the book. I go to my book every month. This baby is buying the samples. Remember, the samples were 500, but the foundation itself was like 5,000 or something. Now, every month, this baby is buying like 3 samples
Samples of
of
the
the
same
same
shade.
shade.
Ah.
So she didn't want to buy like a full
full bottle.
size, but she was buying the samples. And I was very generous, by the way. So that sample size could last you like even a week or something.
If you're doing it daily.
Yeah. So she would buy like 3 or so samples for the whole month. That would set you back like just 1,500. And she has foundation.
She's getting legit
Yeah.
foundation.
So by the time I was realizing, I'm like, oh my God, no, you can't buy more than more than one. Like if you're buying, you can't buy more than 2, like 2 samples of the same shade. Hey, and then Mombasa, I feel like Mombasa people, ujuaji sio sana. So I was just a bit relaxed and chilled. But the bulk of my customers were in Nairobi. Hey, Nairobi, they showed me things. Immediately I knew, hey, naivety to the door, to the left. You have to actually sit down, analyze things, and then see how to navigate. Hey, that was like, I was so shocked. I was telling everybody that story because I could not believe it. Because it could never happen with a Mombasa customer. Like, we were not thinking outside the box like that in a way that can hurt a business. But also, sometimes it's good to be fruitful, like truthful, sorry, because the person who was buying does not think about oxidation and things like those. They just buy, and sometimes someone can come and tell you, oh, my shade has changed. It has not changed. You are buying the sample size where oxygen can just enter anyhow
Yeah.
and oxidize, and yet the brand itself is putting it in like a pump.
Tight.
But anyway, would you even know that is what is happening? But yeah, so we kind of like started with makeup for a very long time, just the premium brands you'd get like in Sephora. And over time, I just decided, okay, it's time to switch to skincare. Yeah.
So before even you switch to skincare, you moved from Mombasa to to Nairobi
Yeah,
now.
because now when the math was not mathing between my side hustle and my job, I decided to quit and just focus on the business. And then along the way, you do your mathematics, you're like, okay, I'm sending a lot of packages to Nairobi, so I might as well be closer to my customers. And we had like a family meeting. Actually, it was even my husband who suggested it. So we just literally packed our things, moved to Nairobi. Do you know we landed in Nairobi like today, and tomorrow it was COVID lockdown.
Also,
Hata sijajua where to buy a matchstick and milk and anything. Ndio hao sisi, we are inside the house, locked, cleaning things with Omo
even
and
fruits.
and airing them in the balcony. Those were crazy
I
days.
know.
Yeah, so actually by the time I was moving to Nairobi, I was still doing both makeup and skincare. And by then I only had like one employee who also decided to move with me.
Really?
From Mombasa. I was shocked. The day she told me I'm moving with you, I'm like, hey.
Is she still, he or she still with you?
No. She's my makeup artist now.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
We worked together for like 2.5 years. Or was it 3? Very long time. Yeah.
So how was it that your husband is willing to pack things and
It was his idea because also there was promising career growth for him in Nairobi. His company needed him in Nairobi as well. So when he suggested, I was just like, me, I can sell from anywhere, both line. Beside, anyway, my family was in Nairobi. I was feeling a lot of scenarios where I am extremely homesick. I meet with my sisters a lot. So even then, they used to meet without me. So they just send photos in the group. You're like, hey, the outcast. So I was kind of happier to move here because also my daughter's grandparents from both sides, they're in Shags, yes. But now when they're in Shags and you're in Mombasa, hey, chances of them visiting you, hey, please, you're a big girl now, go figure it out. So I felt like coming to Nairobi then brings me closer to my family as well. So it was a very easy decision to move back.
so when you got to Nairobi, would you say that there was growth in the business?
Of course, I did not experience growth of a bigger magnitude until I moved to Nairobi. Because the thing about Mombasa also is it's very relaxing and everything is like 5 minutes away. So even if you have like full tank fuel in your car, for example, you can use that fuel for a very long time because you're never really caught in traffic, depending obviously in where you stay. But everything was just like 5 minutes away. So the cost of living, I wasn't feeling like the impact of cost of living
In
when I
Mombasa.
was in Mombasa. So in a way, you're kind of comfortable with what your business is making because whatever it's making, it's able now to either buy you the dress that you are thinking about, give you like your full tank that you're thinking about, your airtime. So you're comfortable, Now when you come to Nairobi, first of all, what shocked me the most was the school fees for a child. We were paying kindergarten like sijui 15,000.
In Mombasa.
Yeah, like a very nice kindergarten. They just go play. In the evening you pick them. Now you come to Nairobi, you're told sijui 100. A
How?
100. Are you mad? By now you realize if you want like a good school, if you want a good neighborhood, if you want anything nice, it's just too costly. So it makes you now think outside the box in terms of even scaling your business because now you can't play safe anymore. So you have to kind of make some changes along the way.
So now Nairobi, you set up shop immediately?
No. Hey, me, I was afraid of having a. What do you mean? I genuinely believed that, and I still do believe the same, that you can have and run a very successful business virtually. And I say this because a lot of people I follow who are in business, majority of them are in the US and some of them run very successful boutiques. And when you look at things like even Shein and Fashion Nova, for a very long time, they didn't even have like a physical place people can come and try on the clothes. You have to buy, ship, and figure it out. If it does, okay. Abroad, I think also the fact that they have like nice, elaborate return policies, maybe that helps. But when you look at some of these businesses, it kind of reassures you that you can run like a successful business online without a physical store. So for me, I was convinced that I do not need a physical store for a very long time.
So what made you now think of opening a store?
I had friends who had physical stores. So constantly they just kept telling me, your business can grow a certain way and especially the kind of business I'm in, which is skincare, and customers are coming with, challenges that they're going through with their skin. And at that time, it was more of, send me a photo or let's jump on Skype, not even Zoom, Skype. It gets to a point where you actually do need to see this person in person. And I know you have customers and you know customers by now. Sometimes they can either exaggerate or downplay. So someone will tell you, oh, it's not so bad. I just have something. Then when they send the photo, you're like, no, you need to see a dermatologist like last year. This is not something to play with. Or someone will send you a photo with, you see these phones nowadays that smoothen and beautify. So you're not able to see like the real challenge. So eventually you just realize, you know what, I need to see these things with my own eyes and be the one to determine, do you need a dermatologist? Do you need pharmacy products? Or do you actually need cosmetics? Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, what was the other challenges you experienced with Bandari Beauty, especially now having a physical store?
With physical store, I think getting the right team, because now you're getting into areas you're not so conversant with. So when it comes to running a business, I think by that time you have kind of like known your way around. But now this is the time where you need to hire more people. It's not like there's a menu or a manual anywhere that tells you exactly what you're supposed to be looking for. So there's challenges in trying to figure out the team. Who do I get to hire? How do I get to hire them? You start realizing, okay, now these numbers are beyond my understanding. I just know biology and chemistry and physics. Mathematics is a stretch. It needs a different professional. So you start now looking for accountants. And if you're registering your business, start thinking about taxes and all of these things, which you're probably not, good at, but are necessary for your business to scale as well. So figuring out who needs to be hired, at what point, can you afford them? What are you supposed to look for, especially if it's an accountant? What qualifications? I mean, I never went to accounting school. So when they come even for the interview, they're like, oh, I'm UCPK. Does it even matter? But you need to just do business. I don't know what in uni for me to just hire you. So in the beginning, it was quite interesting trying to figure out what professionals you need for the business and also who ideally should you hire. How do you do inventory management and things of those kinds. I just remembered that time when I had a POS. Was that even a POS system? It was like an app that had everything, and I had to go home, sit, go through it, and figure out, okay, this can manage. And then at that time, you feel like you can't afford people. So you kind of want to do everything, be the HR, the accountant, the manager, all of those things. Until now, I found that particular app that was acting like a POS to some extent. And then now it is just feeding information. Those were tough days. Try to be everything. And then, now the problem also with having a personal brand was when the customers come to the store, it is you they want to do the consultation. Now, you want me to do the consultation, which at that point, even to date, I don't mind consulting. But even beyond that consultation, it is me the app is waiting for. to put the new stock, to upload photos, to look at the expenses and upload them and look at, what is the net profit looking like. So it becomes very, very crazy. And early on, I had to kind of train my audience that anyone you see in the store is a reflection of me. And whatever I know, they probably know. Because otherwise, if I spend all my time on the floor, then we might never, scale at all. Yeah.
And did the message get across?
Of course, but it takes time. It takes time, and then there are those completely they don't want to hear anything like that, and especially the first customers that you ever had, you're the only person they believe for some reason who can solve the issue, especially those who have tried all manner of things and nothing was working, and then they met you and you actually worked miracles. You cannot convince them to be seen by anybody else. So I kind of had like a pool of customers who I still saw on appointment, but you know, at the end of the day, I feel like customers or consumers, it's just how you train them. If you're able to show them that, okay, here, as you can see, I am training this person. We're having long hours training on the same thing that I know, then, and I'm actually evaluating them for the same to ensure that they're as good as I am, then people become comfortable. And then you start now using like the befores and afters of customers who have been worked on by your people. So they can actually see, okay, and we understand, because if you want me to serve you better, I need to make the order. I can't make the order if I'm on the floor. I need to go back office and look through everything that is out of stock and start creating, a new order for you guys. So with time, it took time, but eventually we were there.
So with Bandari Beauty, you're customer focused.
Yes.
And community building.
Yes.
Is very important to you.
Yeah.
How did you think about it,
Yeah.
like your thought process and execution, and how is it doing for you? What is it doing for your business, rather?
I think, the way sometimes people say our upbringing or our experiences kind of pour into the things that we do now. I feel like blogging for me is literally what has added value. In as much as at that time it looked like a very expensive hobby, like paying photographers left, right, center to take pictures. It did look like an expensive hobby. But then later you realize when you're creating a blog and you're a blogger, ideally and essentially, what you're doing is creating community. And imagine now as a content creator posting on Instagram, it is very easy even for people to bump into your post and figure out, okay, who is this new person? I've never seen this person, and decide to follow. But during our days on blog post, nobody's going to discover you randomly. What do you mean? Unless you're, like, let's say, in an interview or you've been featured somewhere. But the bulk of growth easily came from, you liking my blog and recommending it to your friends and stuff like that. So the art of community building did not start like today. I feel like it started really long time ago. But at that time, you can't really monetize it because you are not thinking about it from that angle. You just want people who love fashion together. Can we figure out what is the next, style that is gonna come out? But eventually you realize those experiences have really poured into how you handle your brand as well. And to be honest, sometimes, yes, we do very unique things at work, and I do get those questions of, sasa ulifikiria aje? But honestly, I feel like it's just my creative mind and my team as well. Because we can be in a meeting somewhere. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be a meeting. It could be we're just chilling, we see something online, someone shares it in the group, and immediately an idea is just born, and we're able to, follow through with that. But also the kind of customers I would say that Bandari Beauty has, they kind of force you to level up. Like we have created and attracted a certain clientele that even you yourself, you just want to feed them more than, just the skincare and grow as a group.
Or do you believe that your team by now understand your vision?
They have to. What do you mean? And I tell founders all the time, like in January, that is your job. Your job is to give your team your vision for the year. And every January, what we do is come together, like with my team of management. I give them my vision for the year, and we work with an external consultant who is able to give, like to put like our thoughts into something viable, and then now we cascade it down to everybody, so we know where we are moving to. It's not like doing random things, because a friend of mine loves saying success is designed. So you can't just wake up, do whatever you want to do, and expect success to follow you. You have to actually kind of plan it in a way. And of course, we're not perfect. We might not know how to plan everything. In fact, right now, even if you tell me, oh, write a business plan, please. So it doesn't have to be like perfect, but the leader definitely needs to give the vision and direction on what that looks like. And it is okay for it to change from year to year. Yeah.
Lunar Spa. What made you go in that direction?
I think being customer centric, because when you're customer centric, then it's less about us getting money from you as a customer, and it's more and moves towards you as a customer 360. What are your challenges? And if it's something that we're able to cater to, then we are able to do it. If it doesn't exist, then we create it. And that is even how the community building events came about. Because if you're looking at you, Brenda, as a customer, of course, you don't spend your days 364 thinking about skincare. You're thinking about so many things, where to put your money so they can grow, where to shop for a nice outfit. If I want to relax, I'm a mom, where do I go? And stuff like that. So we look at a customer from all angles. And in that scenario, then you're able to understand there's more to this customer than just a skincare routine. And when you look at the issues that we solve, especially in Africa, it's very different from other markets, I would say. And we really do struggle with so many things, and especially acne and hyperpigmentation mostly. And when you look at these two things, sometimes, the over-the-counter cosmetics might not necessarily make the problem disappear. Sometimes you do need other solutions that can fasten or hasten the process. So we got to a point where we were now dealing with even more severe issues, which were even handled by a dermatologist. But you realize, and we are all humans, it's not everyone who can be very patient. Like if you tell me, oh, you're gonna apply this thing for 6 months, it's very easy to give up along the way. So, through situations like those, you realize, okay, maybe there are other solutions, like having a medical spa that can hasten that process. And initially, we actually used to send a lot of our customers to medical spas in Nairobi, various, depending on where you live. We'll figure out which one do we trust that is closer to you. But over time, now a customer comes and either starts complaining, oh, theirs, gee, what. You realize now, I know I haven't studied psychology, so I might not be I might not be the best person to have this conversation with, but I can do something different about it, and cater to you from a 360 angle, so that once you arrive in our establishments, then we are able to take care of you all around, whether it's our consultants seeing you, or the dermatologist, or even doing more in the medical spa angle. Yeah.
How has been the journey so far? I remember I came to the launch.
Yeah.
First, you took us through the process of
Do you
Luna.
know, I didn't even know that thing was gonna blow up like that. I was just sharing because I think at that point I had signed my lease, and by the time I was launching the spa, was almost 6 months later. So I was at the tail end of exhaustion. I'm just like, yo, guys. And I was doing like some snippets of the spa and getting, people excited, and they're talking about, oh, how beautiful the space is. And it just hits you like, please, please, please don't look at this beauty. Hey, let me tell you, hold my beer. Let me tell you the journey from the start and how it hasn't been easy. Because sometimes we do get, as entrepreneurs or business owners, I feel like the fact that we are in charge of our calendars, and we are in charge of when do I get to work, when do I get to wake up, when do I get to sleep, it can give off, like this notion that, oh my God, it's so much
It's easier.
fun and easy to be an entrepreneur. And sometimes there are people who glorify entrepreneurship. Granted, it's nice and great. We can't, refute that. But there's a lot of back end things that people,
Don't get to see.
yeah, they don't get to see at all. So I genuinely wanted to show them, yes, this looks like this, but before we got here, we almost quit like 10 times along the way. But the reception was really, 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 like it was beyond,
What
like
should?
I have never, if there's a time I genuinely understood what community building is and the impact of that, I think it was when I was about to launch the spa, for sure.
Interesting.
For sure. Yo, even the people that came, they kept us all night. Like the turnout was really, really good. That was such a good day, actually.
How did that make you feel as a businesswoman?
I think we say that we can never cry on camera, but I swore I'll never cry on camera, and I hope I never get to. I think for me, the most humbling thing was, when you're launching something new, you want to entice people to make bookings or support you in one way or another. And I remember we had a sale for our classic facial that goes for 8,000, but we were giving it out for 5,000. And I was getting a lot of my followers who are like, you know what? After this story, we don't even need the offer. We're coming for the launch, and we're coming to pay full price.
Wow.
And they actually paid full price, most of them. So I was just sitting there, I'm like, what? Hey, can this ever be me? Because me give me the next offer. Hey, wewe ndo umetupea, mi sijakuforce. I will pay on offer, but it just makes you realize when you connect with people, it's like it ceases to just be a business. It's just more than that. Like you're touching people in different ways that even you sometimes I feel like you probably didn't realize until it happens. Like nobody can even prepare you for that at all. Ooh.
So, what's next for Morin?
To be honest, right now I just want to chill. I feel like I feel like the moment I embarked on having a physical store, I have never rested. I do not know what rest is. Like if I was to think about rest in a very critical way, I don't feel I have rested. It's just one building after another, moving from one store to another, to a point where I just wanted to get to a point where I'm just resting. Like there's nothing happening. Everything is stable now, and it's running on its own, and I'm able to, just rest. But definitely, I do want to bring Bandari Beauty closer to people. So that's what is literally on my mind right now. So they don't have to always come to greenhouse.
So that means more branches.
Yeah, hopefully. Hey, Jesus, can you hear our prayers? Entrepreneurs are the best. We can even become pastors. Hey, the way we have a relationship with God like this. Hey, you're praying in the morning, midday, hey, any small inconvenience, God, please. As you can see,
It's
your
me
child.
again.
It's me again. I hope you did not. God, actually, right now, with this week, I'm still the same. Do not forget me. So, yeah, so God willing, and hopefully, we can be able to bring the businesses closer to as many people as possible.
What would you tell 10-year-old Bandari?
Bandari is my dad.
Okay. 10-year-old Morin.
Ah, I was such a playful child. I don't think I even thought about careers when I was 10. If I look back at younger me, I genuinely, I don't even have words that I can tell this person in a way that they can believe. You can say anything. You can say anything, but in a way that they can believe and like, hey, okay, I look forward to this. I don't think I can put it into words that can make a 10-year-old me believe that this is very much possible. But now that I'm here now, and given opportunities to speak to young girls, which is something I feel like I'm usually very passionate about, just opportunities and time. I feel empowering them to know that they are enough, because the moment you have confidence, I feel like confidence is just what moves things. And the kind of job that we do, even at Bandari Beauty, it's just more of enhancing people's confidence. And the moment you have enhanced someone's confidence, the things they're able to do and show up as themselves, it is so crazy. So it's it's been a journey.
Are you open for mentorship?
I actually want a mentor, first of all, for myself. But you know what they say? Sometimes it's even the mentor that picks you.
Sorry?
Sometimes it's the mentor that picks you, not even the other way around. Because with mentoring, never wait for someone to accept your request to mentor them. You can be mentored even by watching someone. I have so many mentors that I don't even know exist in this Africa. Hey, they're busy, out there doing God knows what. But it's in watching how they make decisions, watching, what kind of businesses do they scale to? What kind of people do they surround themselves with? How do they start their day? Nowadays, especially with content creation, your mentors are able to document themselves. Like, I wake up at this time, I do this when I wake up, I go to work at this time, this is how I answer my emails, this is how I train my team. You don't necessarily need to sit down with a mentor for you to feel like, hey, I've been mentored. Hey, you can actually pick the people that you like and just mirror what they are doing and just follow through their journey in a way that it has very high impact in how you conduct your business as well.
You're popularly known as Kiongozi. How did that name come about?
Oh my God. This is gonna be mushy. So I'm actually a very romantic person
Oh.
and there's someone who told me I'm very passionate with everything. Like, everything just passion, and like I rarely do things anyhow. So when I got pregnant, I needed to tell my husband I'm pregnant. So obviously I had to organize how I'm going to tell him I'm pregnant. And I had I had laid out this very anyway, I just remember I even had like a box of donuts, and on top of it I had written, eat this donut so that you can also grow a belly just like me.
Oh.
Something to that effect. So I was doing, I think, an Ask Me Anything Q&A in my stories, and then someone asked me how did I tell my husband that I was pregnant. And I had photos, because remember that time we were blogging. I had done like a whole blog post. So I literally just, shared how I told him. And my friend Flavian responded and said, "Ai Kiongos, kumbe we ni msofty." So I shared a screenshot of that, and people just picked it up and started calling me that. So, eventually when they keep calling you that, then even me, I need to call you something. So I asked them back, okay, now that you guys are calling me Kiongos, what should I call you guys? So they started throwing words around. And, Kiongozi is like from Kiongozi, like a leader. So a leader has their followers. So if you say wafuasi, it wasn't making sense because this one has like S at the end. So someone just blurted out like wafuas as plural and mfuas as a singular. And it was just, I don't know. When someone says these two names, they just crack you immediately. Like, it's so unreal. So we just started slowly like that. And then along the way, I started now getting names from different tribes, like left, right, center. We were in Ketatre's birthday, and they were speaking in Kikuyu. And I realized almost all my friends are Kikuyu, like my close friends. So they were cracking like some Kikuyu jokes. Funny enough, I realized if I pay attention, I can actually hear what they're saying. So they would say something, I'm like, wait, you have said ABCD? And they'll be like, yeah, that is what we have said. So they were like, you're actually one of us. Your name is Nyambura. And I was just like, we actually did like a whole ceremony. Naming I stood up, they went all round and singing in Kikuyu songs and handing me over Nyambura as a name. And I documented all that. So immediately I posted that, different followers are like, even us, we need to give you a Luo name, we need to give you a Kamba name, we need to give you a Meru name. So now I'm just having a plethora of names, which I adore so much. So sometimes actually you can have someone call me a name that people gave me a long time ago and we don't use it quite often. I'm like, hey, you're an OG follower, because there's no way you could remember such a name if you're not following me. But it's so cute. I love all the names. Let me see which one I don't have. I don't think the Kambas have given me a name yet.
The Kisi. Oh, you're a Kisi.
Yeah, but I never disclosed my Kisi name.
Why?
Because we didn't get like the typical Kisi names like Kwambokas and Moras. So sometimes I don't know whether it's the clan that I come from or it's just my parents who just did not want to give us that.
In building your brand, you made a decision to go back to school and upscale what you already know. How important is that for a business person, or how important was it for you to make that decision to go and upscale your craft?
I think partly partly it's just being a rebel, because my dad is an academician, so he kind of was forcing everybody to do their masters and their PhDs. And I told him, okay, enough of the studies. It's time now I study what I genuinely feel like will have some impact in my business, rather than going to study like a random MBA and PhDs. So with time, especially in this skincare business, I feel like it's good to have as many professionals as possible, because in as much as anyone can open a business, sometimes there's some businesses which are more delicate, because you're dealing with people's face. If I meet you for the first time, it's your face that I will see. And the skin is like the biggest organ. So if something is going on in there and I am messing it up, it's almost impossible to get yourself out of that situation. Granted, people can use skincare and they can get like purging situations or reactions, but ideally it is worse when you do not even know what you are doing. So for me, it was paramount that in as much as up to that level, I had either studied online or just watching YouTube videos or now doing some short courses. It was very important for me to now embark on a journey that, you can have, something to work with in the skincare industry, where you are a professional. You're no longer like this person that just has passion for skincare and became self-taught. You are someone who also can have an authority in mimi ndio ninakuambia mimi ndio nakushow inakuanga hivi na hivi, because the more people get exposed to cosmetics, the more guidance I feel they need, because we have everything from people making things in their kitchen to organic skincare to, you know, the cosmetics that we all know to medical grade skincare as well. So someone needs to be a professional enough to guide people in as much as we have, you know, dermatologists who I very much respect. And also to show my dad everything is not at a PhD and and a master's in random courses. So you can study in whichever way. And I think I make it like part of my journey to go back to school on a yearly basis. This year I've been focusing more on coaching as a leader, but hopefully next year again back to school. I think at this point I'm just addicted to
To learning.
to learning. Again, just upbringing, I would say. Yeah.
Also, you're very generous with information with your community.
Because when we were growing up in this blogging, nobody was telling you anything. Even how to set up a Google AdSense account so that you can earn money. Nobody was telling you anything. There's so many content creators to date, they will never even share their rate card or even guide you on how to create one. So we kind of figured things out on our own. And by the time I was moving back to Nairobi and I was friends with, you know, people like Miss Mandy, Nancy was my friend for a very long time. Now you sit with people who are now your friends and they're in the industry as well. Now those ones can easily be open and be like, okay, this is how you charge for this kind of engagement. This is what you look for. And you realize there's a lot of information you did not know at all while navigating this journey. So for me right now, do you know, I even have a WhatsApp group for upcoming content creators. I think the group has like 150 creators.
Nice.
Yeah, so they ask me anything, I just send voice notes. Sometimes they can send a link to their pages. I go look and audit it and tell them what I feel they're doing well, what I feel they can change to grow, you know, how to write a rate card. So like I lose nothing. And the same goes whether it's content creation or business wise. Like for you, like I know we also have oh my god, I have so many groups. Like I even have a group for entrepreneurs, like female founders, which you are in.
Yeah.
And it's constant sharing of information because at the end of the day, you're in the hair business.
Yeah.
I'm in my skincare business. The challenges might be the same, but the products changes. So me hiding the information when I know it does not double my sales at all. And I feel like there's something I might not know from the next person. So the moment we are together, I'm able to learn something from them and they're able to learn something from me.
Now that a lot of Kenyans are embracing skincare, what does that mean for the industry?
Listen, in the past, you know, I think when I even started my business, like my skincare business, we were like just 4 or 5 businesses doing skincare, and majority of us were doing both makeup and skincare, with most of us leaning towards makeup than skincare. And initially, you know, you had to even tell someone that a cleanser ni kama sabuni. So if you put it on your skin, wash it off. Do you know, during COVID, I created a skincare routine for someone, and part of the products that I gave this person was a vitamin C serum, and it was COVID time. Everyone is taking vitamin C, so she reaches out to me later, and she's like, "I'm not seeing any changes." And have you ever had that product that you know I'm giving you 2 weeks, you will be seeing, hey, unameremeta. She's not complaining. I'm like, no, Ebu, show me how you're using it. She was putting drops on her tongue. I was in the middle of I'm shocked and this is funny. Like, why did you imagine? So every day she'll do her routine, but when it's time for the vitamin C, she'll drop
it
on her tongue.
Wow.
Nilikuwa, now I had to email the brand. I'm like, hey, if this happens, oh my God, this customer has taken it for this long. Now it got us to a point where you know that you have to actually tell them. A serum is for applying this number of drops. Sunscreen is 20 minutes before sun exposure. Like, you have to explain and always assume that they don't know anything. But now, hey, nowadays someone comes to the store and immediately they have the basics. They have skin, the cleanser, they have the moisturizer, they have the sunscreen, which makes now consultation, easier and interesting. Because now when you're talking to them about, okay, this serum does this, they kind of have an idea of what you're talking about. And the uptake then becomes a bit easier because someone is not feeling like, hey, unaniuzia tu vitu sasa sijui hata ziwezi nisaidia, nime survive na Vaseline na Aramis the culprits na Dove soap all my life. What do you mean now I need tranexamic acid? Allah. So I feel when it comes to business growth, that has really, really contributed. But the foundation has been laid, We have done a lot of education. Most dermatologists now have a presence online. They talk to us about ingredients. So the audience is more knowledgeable. If I compare it to just the other day, it's not even far, like just 5 years ago. And now it's crazy. And now, now there's TikTok.
Yeah.
You wake up today, it's a new brand that is trending. And you have to figure out, hey, this trending brand, what does it have, so that you can keep educating your audience. But definitely it has made skincare more acceptable, because if I compare 5 years back, makeup was more acceptable than skincare.
So what tip would you give anyone in regards to their skincare, or something you swear by?
Something that I swear by. I swear by sunscreen. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm the darkest you probably ever see. And I started using sunscreen in college. I was already, all my pocket money, I was just going to beauty stores and buying random things, including those masks we used to put on and then you pull them off like this. The ultimate glass skin, those ones. Yeah, so sunscreen is very important. It doesn't matter whether you're Caucasian, you're lighter skin, you're darker, it doesn't matter. You need a sunscreen for a fact. But at the same time, there's this thing that sometimes I look at it and I'm just like, sometimes try, or either try or just do a consultation. Yeah, where there's this disconnect between organic things and, as they say, chemical. Me musinipea chemicals. But everything has its own advantages and disadvantages. Someone might lean more towards clean beauty. Another person, hey, me, kaende, whatever it is. So before people come online and start bashing things left, right, center, I would rather you do a consultation. You do a consultation or do your own research and figure out, okay, what can work best for me and which path am I going to? Yeah, so that if it's clean beauty, it's clean beauty. I mean, nobody's going to come into your house and fight you. It's clean beauty. And if it's organic, how can you then better protect yourself? Because also you can't buy random organic products that someone mixes in their home.
Yeah.
And I feel like with my background, especially in biochemistry, biotechnology, it gives you a lot of, like, an overview of the dangers that can come when professionals are not the ones curating some of these things. So in as much as we are into the skincare bit of, an era, also work with professionals. And even if it's the clean beauty you want or the organic skincare you want, it's fine, imagine. But are you able to find the right products? Someone that say, tumalizane na wewe with this hair, I go to my kitchen, make something. Tomorrow I'm going to an event, distributing and just labeling. Then eventually you find, you have killed completely your skin barrier, and you're becoming very sensitive to things. You can't even spray perfume like this without getting flare-ups and stuff like that. So yeah.
I'm curious to know, have you ever had a client who's over-researched?
What do you mean, have you ever? A Bandari customer, hey, comes with ChatGPT, Google, what the dermatologist said, the one in the UK, the one in South Africa. They do come. And sometimes I love those people because, you know, the good thing with when you're very serious with your business and you invest in it and you invest in training, you kind of know what you're doing. So when they come, there's nothing I love like someone who has researched. Because then whatever you're able to say resonates with what they saw somewhere, whether on ChatGPT or on Google or, you know, whatever. And when you're not confident and you're not sure what you're supposed to say, because you didn't either do trainings or you didn't go back to school, or you just woke up and opened a skincare business and now you're talking to people, that conversation and consultation can be very difficult. It can be very difficult. So but I love the ones who have researched, but they're willing to hear what you have to say. Because also when they come with even me, I know it can become such a tussle to go back and forth with them. But most of them actually will research and then come, okay, now I'm here to hear what you have to say. But you can always know they have research based on the kind of questions they ask, how they listen to you keenly, waiting for you to just say something that is
like,
totally off so they can correct you. So sometimes you can pick up on stuff like that, and then you're able to deliver ideally what they were looking for. And most of them actually come back and send me DMs. They're like, oh my God, your people are well trained, they're this and that. It just comes from them coming well equipped first and foremost, and then now they come and meet us.
One last question. As a dark-skinned woman, we live in even in your industry, the content creation industry.
Yeah.
How has your journey been compared to, let's say, other people? And also, we're living in an era where skin lightening is a thing. Not to say it's bad, however.
Well, it's bad, especially when you saw the other day they are bleaching kids. Well, it's not even the other day, it's been happening.
The bleaching kids.
Yeah.
How?
Because if I bleach my skin and I'm lighter, and maybe I get married to someone who is lighter or darker like me, my original self, the kids are gonna come out darker. And especially in the Western Africa, the Congos area, yeah, kids are being bleached even when they are in your tummy.
That's
Yeah,
You
they're
can
taking
bleach a
pills.
child in the tummy.
Yeah, listen, I found out when I was doing a little bit of research on that. But granted, yeah, we don't have anything wrong with people who want to bleach.
Yeah.
But I've just remembered, oh my God, yeah, they were actually bleaching kids. Yeah. But as you were.
I was saying, how has your journey been? Would you say, because we've had incidents of people saying there's
Yeah.
colorism in the industry,
Yeah.
even with beauty products, we're having that conversation. There's not
Yes.
enough range for people
Yeah.
like me and you. So how has your journey been in
Yeah.
that aspect?
You know, the other day, when I had gone for a conference, I decided, now that I'm here, let me go and buy my Lancome foundation. I think the darkest shade was, who do we know who is like chocolate? That was the darkest shade. Like, I was very shocked in
In this
2025.
Nairobi?
No. I had gone for a conference and I was very shocked, like in 2025, when that still happened. And even here, you'd find someone, okay, granted, sometimes I do understand, especially the SMEs, when you're starting out and you're doing things like concealers and foundations, you may not have, the money to give us a range the Fenty way. But it can be a bit discouraging when the dark ones, tumepewa one shade. It is,
Tujipange.
then there's the one dark shade at the end, arrange yourself. So you have to kind of like take that one and then maybe the middle one and mix. I think for the longest time I was mixing my foundations for me to be able to get to a certain color that I'm comfortable with. But growing up and being in this industry, I genuinely feel I'm one of those people who could care less in terms of what people think about me from that angle, like my skin, how I look, whether I'm plus size or small. Honestly, and I feel like it's more of either how I was brought up, like such a confident girl, in a way that my whole neighborhood were all the same color-wise. In fact, we just had one
Light
neighbor who
person.
was light-skinned, and we used to look at her like, "Where
No.
umetoka wapi?" So growing up, everybody just looked like me, and I would lie if I say I haven't experienced colorism. I have, for sure, but I've also been confident enough not to let stuff like that get to me. What I feel sometimes is disheartening is when we run stories like models, for example, sending you messages saying, oh, when they were doing like their, what is it? Like when they're doing like the model casting, or they specify you need to be this tall, this size, this color. And literally, the dark skinned babes are not getting jobs. And when you look at how people end up bleaching, even the socialites who have come out and say, okay, for me, I changed my skin in one way or another, it's because the jobs are actually being given to other people. It doesn't matter whether you are skilled in that industry or not, they literally do give it to other people who are not you. So if you're in this economy and you want to to also live your comfortable life, then you find yourself making decisions based on your circumstances. And for me, I feel like that is like the saddest part of even bleaching itself. I always say I would rather bleach because me personally as Morin, I have sat in my house and figured, wow, how will I look lighter? And then I go and bleach. To some extent, honestly, it's your skin. But majority of people who end up changing how they look, rarely do they do it for themselves. So for me, I feel that is where the sad part comes in, because it could either be because of a man, or because of that is what can progress you in terms of earnings. As per what they say, I wouldn't know, because me with my dark skin, I've managed
You're
to
still
earn
learning.
in this economy. I wouldn't know what they're talking about, but it's some people's reality, honestly, and we can't take away those experiences from them. From a content creation angle, genuinely, I have not experienced it. I do feel like from my end and my experiences, it's more of, are you able to be in touch with your audience? How is your engagement looking like? Do your audience listen to you as a creator, as a person of influence? So from that angle, I haven't. If they have sat in a boardroom somewhere and discussed us and my skin color is what put me out, hey, sorry, you missed out on a really good creator, but it has never really been brought to my attention that my skin color could be a thing. But when your followers come to your DMs and they're like, "Oh, you're so confident. I have color like yours, and I get discriminated in this and this way," then it actually makes you feel sad, because here you are thinking things are supposed to work a certain way, and that's not other people's reality. So, yeah.
Good to have you, Maureen. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for taking time.
Now, in this Nairobi, you need to know which are the spots, because so I was just doing black all my life for no reason.
What do you think
Ama,
about the
I had
color?
just not met you.
Probably.
This is so good. And I knew you might do some crazy color. So I decided I'm going to wear bright colors
You
before
look
you
really
shock
good.
me. Oh,
Where would you ideally wear this to?
this hair, everywhere. What do you mean? We must be seen. You know that duo video? We must be seen anywhere and everywhere. But red carpet, even depending on how the design of the dress looks like. But the normal social events for Nairobi, kwanza you don't even greet people. Unaenda unakaa hivi. Naweza simama nikuje kukusalimia, nywele ichomoke mahali. The way umeiweka hivi, let it not move. So come and say hi to me. Ama you start giving those air kisses. Because now if they start coming here and then waanze kutoa hapa, we'll have a problem.
Thank you so much. You look
Thank you
very,
so
very
much for
beautiful.
having me. It's been a long time coming.
I know.
Yeah, but here we
Finally.
are.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi.
So we're going to take you through another segment of quickfire questions. Are you ready?
Okay,
Okay,
born ready.
awesome. What's a skincare habit you secretly don't follow?
Would you guys judge me? Sometimes I genuinely don't do my nighttime routine. If I go home and I'm just tired, bed straight. In as much as we're, but don't do as I do, do as I say.
What's your most used emoji?
that laughing one, anytime, any inconvenience, any small thing, the laughing one, even if the joke is dry, it is inside.
If your personality were a scent, what would it smell like?
Floral, anything floral, I'm down. Anything floral.
Besides your phone, what's one thing that you never leave the house without?
My perfume,
What's a random skill you wish you had but you don't?
singing. Hey, I'm telling you guys, if I could sing, sijui mngekuwa wapi. You would just look for another planet.
You can instantly master one skill. What is it?
What if I have already mastered it? Actually, it's dance. I get a lot of questions actually, because I have a choreographer and our dance classes are 1 hour long, and he'll teach me a choreography, instantly master it, we dance, we post, and someone is like, how many days or weeks did you practice this?
A quick one. You're actually a good dancer. I'll
Yes.
give you that. If your life was a movie, what genre will it be?
Romance movies. I'm such a lover for lovers.
A song that you play when you need to boost your confidence?
Oh, it changes from time to time. Right now, you know that song Ordinary.
Ordinary.
Um, I don't know who sang it though, but it's everywhere in everyone's reels. So it depends what I want encouragement for. If I want to encourage myself and boost myself like I'm a bad bitch, I'm a boss babe, I do listen to a lot of In My Bag this year, especially. But when I'm just feeling like, hey, Aki, this life, I don't know how this life is going, I might easily go to our sisters and brothers in Tanzania and listen to gospel music. But right now, there's a lot of back to back, The Ordinary. I think it's called Ordinary on its own, not The Ordinary. That song, but I'll play it for you guys after this.
Thank you. A scent that instantly calms you down.
Honestly, anything floral, I'm just relaxed. And that's why probably I love flowers as well, because anytime I receive flowers and I sniff, I'm just like, I mean, what could be this big that I can't solve? So
Who's your fictional alter ego in TV, movie, or a book character?
okay, I don't have those.
You don't?
I
Okay.
don't have those, and especially when I know it's fictional. That's it. I don't have any of those things.
Okay. Most extra thing you've done for self-care.
I had this facial in Korea that cost me 52,000 shillings. Every time I tell people what exactly they were doing, they're like, you are not serious. Even if it's Kupenda skincare that much, you are not serious. And then also the same place, I did a certain massage that had also facial. This masseuse was even going on top of my back and doing God knows what. I blacked out in the middle of the massage. Thankfully, I had gone with a friend of mine who was taking content for me. I was watching the content later. I'm like, hey, excuse me. But it was so extravagant. So, like, it had just so many things. I think I stayed there for like 3 hours just doing like a massage with a facial. So, yeah, that was extreme. But I felt so good after that.
So it's safe to say that it was totally worth it, right?
I will do it again.
Awesome. Books or podcast?
Podcast. But I still feel like if the podcast is extremely long, then I'm just okay with the snippets on Instagram, to be honest. I'm trying currently to go back to books though.
Which Kenyan phrase do you overuse?
I did like the umbwa mimi. Umbwa mimi what?
Umbwa mimi,
Kumbavu
kumbavu
zangu,
zangu.
that thing was funny. And it took me so long to know what that was because I was just seeing everybody was using it, but I didn't know where it had come from. I'm usually very slow. I'm the last one to know things. So when I actually got to see the original video, I died.
Most chaotic thing in your bag right now?
In my bag,
Yes.
There are these warmers. I got it's not chaotic, but probably random. There's these warmers my neighbors gave me. So you just hold them in your hands and then they warm your hands. You just put them on. That's something I've never used before until they gave it to me, and I just carry them everywhere. Now I'm even exposing myself because I even try to lie to them that they are lost. I need to order my own from Amazon now. But that's the most random thing you'll find.
Who is the person you text the most?
Probably my assistant. I text her from morning to evening.
Shout out to Shiko.
Yeah, then maybe my husband, and then my best friends.
What's a hill you're willing to die on, no matter how petty?
That skincare is for everyone, especially sunscreen is for everyone. And there is no certificate for motherhood. Whether you have 10 nannies or zero nanny or I don't know, you are whatever, as long as your child loves you, there is no certificate for, let's say, even suffering in this life. If you can have some convenience, please have it. The thing I came to learn the most is your child, as long as they know that they love you and you love them, based on how you show affection, it doesn't matter. Whether you have 9 nannies does not mean you are not capable of doing what you want to do. If you have 0 nannies, you believe in, hey, me, a nanny cannot wash my child. It is fine, but there's no certificate for anything. The certificate is, if your child does not tell you, I love you, mom, then it does not matter.
Amen to that. Current favorite scent?
Right now, I'm trying to. It's not a favorite yet because it's the one I'm eyeing, the Kayali pistachio one. I'm trying to get it and see how that goes. But I do have quite a few favorites, and including what I wore today, the Miss Dior one. So,
Describe healthy skin in 3 words.
skin that you love.
In 1 word, describe your mood today.
Chaotic, like hormones. Like today has been very crazy actually. One minute I'm happy, the next I'm stressed, the next I'm trying to solve issues, the next I'm back to happy. So chaotic. Actually, let it be 3. Chaotic like hormones.
One wrong assumption that people have about you.
Mimi ndio tajiri. But it's not wrong, neither is it. I think the way they use it is what I have a problem with, because they kind of discredit everything that you have done as as someone, me in this case, to get to where you are, and imagine this can only be possible because you are Bibi Atajiri. You can still be Bibi Atajiri and do nothing, so let's not get it twisted.
Finish the sentence. Maureen Bandari is.
Very affectionate.
Oh, and we love that. Thank you so much for coming to our show. We loved
Yay!
having you. Bye.
Bye. Please subscribe to Beyond the Seat channel. Usikuje kuwa una watch tu vitu unafurahi and then you go without doing tiung. Subscribe.
Thank you.